Welcome back to Dishonored 2. My name is Andrew, and in the last episode, we'd arrived here at the outskirts of the Royal Conservatory with the hope of finding Breanna Ashworth. We know that the Abbey of the Everyman has also taken an interest in our pal Breanna, so our goal this episode is basically going to be to see how the Abbey can help us. We also picked up a quest from our friend, the black market shopkeeper back there, to find a friend of his who's gone missing. So with all that floating around in our heads, let's start. Our friends from the Abbey are actually pretty close right in this block of apartments, but unless something's changed, they're not going to be very friendly. What seems most likely to me is actually that we pretty much end up stealing and or forcefully taking any information that we need that helps us do whatever it is that we need to do. That being said, if there ever was a time when we could find a ready ally in the Abbey, now is pretty much it. Delilah and her co-conspirators are like me. They got the magic within. They're touched, but far more like they're violent. They like to murder. They're chaotic. They like to show their powers in public. So between the two of us, I'd say that it's probably a pretty safe bet that the overseers would choose me over Delilah. It is, though, interesting that the Abbey's overseers are having to hide. Because, like, they had the run of Dunwall, right? But here, with the Duke being a puppet of Delilah, I feel like they're in almost as bad as me. Liam Byrne, the guy whose name we just saw, is the overseer whose information we're looking to collect. And he's actually the vice overseer here in Arkane. Can you imagine the street, the street view just now? I picture it like a cartoon, you know, like when you see a fight around a corner or behind a wall or whatever, and all you see is arms and legs flailing and dust flying. That's what I bet it was. Man, okay. Let's make sure that we don't have any more nasties to deal with, and then we'll head inside. Since the office is so close to where the mission began, we'll probably end up exploring a lot more of the city proper this episode than we would otherwise, which means that we'll need to take a look at the different routes available to us. We'll actually have to do that and decide which one gives us the best chance at some sweet booty, and wouldn't it be great if just one of these days we could find a group of apartments that's in good shape, that isn't infested or decaying, or that doesn't have witches or gang members or spies, just a nice friendly neighborhood. Though I don't think those are gonna exist here in Karnaca. I mean, the docks were pretty good looking, I guess, but the buildings were still like full of blood flies and corpses, so I don't think they really count, do they? But I digress. We're where we need to be, and before we do go charging in full steam ahead, we should probably see if there's another way in. It'll just take a moment, and we might spare us from having to do any fighting, but the door is blocked, so you know what that means, friends. Looks like we are going to do a grand entrance. Time to whip out the old pistol. Or maybe not. Or maybe yes. I mean, there's no way the guards will not hear me, but then again, there's no way they will hear me because they never have, right? Right. So, there's no back way in. That's the alley where we begin. Okay. Unnecessary slide. That's fine. Deep breath. And before I do bust in, let's see if we can't spy any nastiness waiting for us on the other side. One of my biggest fears is that one of these times there's going to be a jump scare waiting for me when I look through a keyhole. I know it's going to happen one of these times. I just know it, and it's going to be terrible. There is a man sitting in a recliner looking very comfortable, and I'm about to just ruin his day and make a mess of his entryway and foyer, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry for what I'm about to do. Please forgive me. He did. Okay, and I think we're... Oh, goddamn. Dang. Alright. An interesting greeting for anybody hoping to come into your room, sir. A grenade hanging from the door, I guess, is what that was strapped with. Let's make sure no one follows us. I didn't kill him, though. So the only... What a goof. What a klutz I am. Okay, the only casualties is none. There is no casualties. I don't know what I'm saying. Just this man in his chair looking all cozy like he was before we busted in. Okay, now I bet this boy will have all sorts of goodies lying around. Maybe, yeah, an arsenal, coins, grenades, bullets, Piero's spiritual remedies, all the things a girl needs for a good time. Not much else, though. So let's see what the audiograph that was marked is all about.
Curator of the Royal Conservatory. For a while, I believed Ashworth has some connection to the occult in Karnaca. Something is happening that I don't understand. The overseers are the forward face of the Abbey, but equally important are our sisters from the oracular order. To be direct, I suspect something is wrong within their sect. Subtle changes to the types of proclamations they've been making. Small but troubling deviations from tradition. But publicly saying anything along those lines will get me accused of heresy by my rivals within the Abbey. Is it possible that Ashworth has infiltrated the Oracular Order?
So Vice Overseer Byrne thinks Ashworth is interfering with the Oracular Order. If true, it's another reason she has to be eliminated.
Okay, oh. We got a book. Much has been said about the blind sisters of the Oracular Order. In truth, their eyes function just as well as yours or mine. However, they do endeavor to become blind to distractions and frivolities. They will, if necessity bids them, walk among us wearing richly hued blindfolds or otherwise covering their eyes. In this way, they remain at all times ready to see things clearly. Decisions are made during cloistered gatherings. Though no others are permitted to observe, the process was described to me, so I render it here with permission. A room is prepared with heavy incense and blessings from the strictures. In a circle sit 30 or more sisters of our order until the room is brimming. We will hear no topic lest we have each had adequate time to research. Several outcomes are discussed, and some sisters are specifically tasked with advancing less popular or unlikely scenarios. It is not permitted to remain silent. Every voice must be heard. It may take some time to arrive at a decision, and by then all are quite versed in the myriad consequences and may have lengthy advice for all contingencies. When an opinion is written, it may be as short as a sentence or fill 20 pages, yet still one last sister must approve it. The High Oracle herself. Fascinating. So, the Sisters of the Oracular Order are a new thing. I don't remember them from other games, and I don't think as much has been said about them in this game either up to this point. The recording did mention in regards to our proud Breanna and the witches under her control, that there's a good deal of suspicion already aimed towards them. So specifically that there's too many S words here. Specifically that the oh my god, suspicion specifically that the Sisters of the Oracular Order, which give out like prophecies and guidance, I guess, to the Overseers, may have been infiltrated by the Brigmore witches, by Delilah's witches. This would mean then that the Overseers could be like swayed by the witches. Which is no wonder then that Byrne is sending spies and other... He's trying to figure out what's going on. It's no real wonder. So, yeah, copious amounts of bones and rune charms that forever seem to haunt us from level to level, including black bone charms, like that one we just saw. I think black bone charms are ones that, like, they give a little extra, but they also take something from you, so they have a big downside. I don't have any equipped because I don't really like what they do. I never found them really worth it, when I can just equip a normal bone charm and be perfectly happy, you know what I mean? Okay, so to our next adventure. There's a lot of stuff to get. Before we go, though, we'll hit up the buildings across the street, and before we do that, there's some guards we need to get rid of. I didn't hurt any guards yet, and there was nothing in the apartments, so... But there are witches over here, and so in the spirit of vengeance for all the wrongs that have been done to us, we're gonna go towards them. Into this like getaway area of the city, and that area just that we saw just now is actually where I came from, and the most exciting thing in it was a woman sleeping next to a plantain in a smoky room. That's about everything. And we do have a witch right here. You can tell because their voice is weird and they dress strange. Very good. I think there's another one. Yes. Ha! What a sassy witch. All right. Didn't help her though, did it? Oh, geez, look, a fire. Okay, well, this only seems right. You know, what's the Monty Python saying? If it weighs like a duck, if she weighs the same as a duck, she's a witch. And what do you do with witches? We've almost made it to the entrance of the Royal Conservatory finally. There's a wide open area in front of us that is full of guards protected by some watchtowers, but there are also some apartments, and these ones look like they might actually have stuff in them, not just smoky women and exotic fruits, and I just ruined what looked like such a nice moment. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. I've ruined a perfectly good door and entryway, and now I've ruined a beautiful moment. Okay, oh dear, oh my, oh ma'am, that's fine. There it is, the Royal Conservatory.
Conservatory.
Thank you.
What do those walls hide?
Okay, so the man speaking is Duke Lucca of Bell. I'd spend more time listening, but I won't. Let's get over into these apartments back here before we cause any more devastation. Actually, you can see some blood flying infestation devastation right over to my left that has taken root in this part of town. And so far, where there has been an infestation of that size, there's also been a nest keeper, right? So that'll be fun, but you know, I think before we do that, geez, the Duke's going hard, man. What a big old what a trash bag. What a big old trash can, okay? we're gonna go get this rune over here and a few other of the runes before we set foot in the infested area. So, yeah, it's probably right. Let's get over into these apartments. And these apartments are trapped, actually. Okay, so someone doesn't want us getting to where we want to go. These tripwires are everywhere in here too, man. So there's one. Jeez, man, I can't do this. This might be a little bit. Okay, we made it to the Outsider's Shrine. Time for a chat with our friend.
Look at you, making your way across this shuddering city. Breanna Ashworth would have been miserable as a member of high society, forced to wed some bloated banker. Her only moments of real freedom, getting drunk at fancy balls, and slipping away to couple with strangers. It would have ended in an unhappy marriage and a late-night plunge into an icy river. But just before Mother and Father married her off, so many years ago, she found Delilah instead. It was all highways and graveyards after that, never looking back. Vice Overseer Byrne is an ambitious man, but he believes in the Abbey's mission, protecting the good people of the Empire against the likes of us. You know he'd be happier deep down if this ended with Breanna Ashworth's head on a spike. Maybe yours as well.
Okay. Our boy the Outsider with some wise but unsettling words for us. And you know what? I think that's actually going to do it for this episode. Let me find a nice cozy spot to wrap this up. Okay, here we go. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Next episode, we'll hit up the infested area, we'll hit up the remaining runes and bone chimes, and then maybe near the end, we might end up crawling into the Royal Conservatory. But again, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you thought about the video any way you can in the comments. Just let me know what you thought. For the third time. I don't know, I say that a lot. Thanks so much for watching, because I do mean it, and I'll see you guys next time.